week we are talking about Saltburn.
Barry Keegan. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. That dude is crazy. There's some off the wall stuff in this movie. Like his level of conniving and skeeviness was off the charts. I'm happy now he's getting more of a prominent push as an actor in the limelight. There are scenes, some of the things he do, everybody in the audience was like, "Nah, he ain't gonna do that," and I was like, "Yeah, he is." And 10 seconds later, like, he would. Like, yeah, this movie was like a crazy, weird ride watching.
So I hated this movie. Couldn't hate it more. I want to be here for the girls. Like I want to be a champion for the girlies who are out here making films. But this film was not it for me. Like I remember I told my friend I was gonna go watch it, and she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, I know the reviews have been mixed, but I'm gonna go watch it." And now I know why. Like only a rich person could write something like this. Like Emerald Fennell, her family are very well to do, and so I think that because of that, like she nailed the rich people being mean part, but like what she was actually trying to say through, or I don't even know what she was trying to say through this. And then there were certain scenes that happened in this film that I think were like supposed to be shocking for the sake of being shocking, and I don't like that. It was giving very like Sam Levinson Euphoria season 2,
Like the
or
bathtub
The
scene.
Idol, the bathtub scene, the eating out Miss Thing, those scene, the graveyard scene when he's like,
Yeah, that was one of them.
there are
Everybody was like,
I just feel like why? Because the whole thing, the aesthetics of it, and this is she's a very aesthetically kind of detailed director, even from Promising Young Women. Like the aesthetics and the music were always like on point.
yeah,
This film is similar, where the aesthetics, how it's shot, the music, even who she cast in it, like the fact that she cast like Jacob Elordi and Barry, she
yeah.
knows that she's targeting a very specific audience, like, and also that I'm gonna assume she's going for a very specific thing, which is like for things to go viral on TikTok, like for people to be talking about certain things like the bathtub scene, like the graveyard scene. And again, it's giving me the Sam Levinson ick, because it's like, just make a good film. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, you don't have to go through all of this just so we'll talk about your movie. If it's good, we'll talk about it.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I love like her subtle hint. If you pay it like in a movie to Midsummer's Night's Dream, which is one of Shakespeare's most well-known plays, it's kind of about it's like a social and political commentary. Dealing with the lives and trivials, the little issues of rich people. So I thought that was a good hint into the movie. And it also that play also has a large part to do with perception. Like everybody perceived like Barry's character as this poor, know nothing person, not knowing behind the scenes who's really just as manipulative as any of them, and due to that perception, they did not see him as a threat. Like he starts out like really obsessive over Jacob Yorey's character, and then that obsession turns like hate and disdain once he sees how his lifestyle actually is, which I really enjoyed. I loved it. I love stuff like this. I mean, I can see in a way how it would come off as a very shock value esque movie. Do like you said, like him performing oral her on her period, and I'm lingering too long on the blood on his mouth and stuff like that. Like, and
And
those are
he
like,
put it in her mouth.
yeah,
He put
and
it back in her mouth
and
and
then the
ate it.
bathtub scene after Jacob, and that kind of thing. And then particularly like I think the one that got everybody in my theater was the graveyard scene where I was like, he's not gonna do it. And I was like, I bet he is. And everybody was like, nah, he ain't gonna do it. And then like those are scenes that remind me of the communal experience of watching movies and everybody reacting audibly to like the strangers, like almost it's like very much like when Avengers Endgame came out and Cap has Mjolnir and everybody goes kind of thing. Like those gross out scenes made me remember like how watching movies is a communal experience because everybody's there reacting at the same time. And it's weird movie because it's a slow plan. Like he kills Jacob's character, then he kills his sister, then he gets the nephew removed from the will, and then the husband dies mysteriously, and then he marries the mom, and then the mom, like it's a long plan for him to get revenge on all of them.
Yeah. And it's dumb. Because before we even get to Saltburn, he's lying already about his economic status,
Yeah.
right? He's already telling people not only does he not have money, but his parents are drug addicts. Like his his dad died, he's lying about a lot of stuff before we even get to the country home.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so what was your original intent?
And that's one of the things, like, when I say the person with mental health, I wish they had dug more into as to why he's, his lie is a labyrinth. Like, is it a bipolar disorder, that kind of thing? Like, why is it gone to the extreme and it's gone? Like, beyond his obsession with Jacob Fiori's character and his family and their wealth, like, I can understand that, being spiteful over that, but the whole initial impetus of I'm pretending to be poor and stuff like that, that I do have issues with.
This movie also feels like an offshoot, a downgrade of like The Talented Mr. Ripley. I was also watching it being like, I would just rather watch Gossip Girl. Like, if I wanted to watch like a bunch of rich people being mean and ignorant, I could just watch Gossip Girl and I would have such a great time. I didn't understand any of his motivations of why he was doing any of it.
It was like, you were rich, you saw things easy, and you didn't take anybody as a threat because you were the top predator. And I think that was basically the point of be wary. It's just be wary, be cautious. It is okay. So the movie is a very eat the rich movie, but it is.
But it's not though.
It's not
constructed. Eat the Rich movie is like the menu.
Yeah,
that's an Eat the Rich movie where it's like there is a purposeful intent to bring all the rich people here that we hate, and what happens in the end, everybody dies. He burns all that to the ground, even himself. Like, all of it's gone. To me, that's Eat the Rich movie, where it's like there's like a pointed, this system is bad, so we have to destroy the system. But that's not what happens here. He gets rid of the people, but he is still in the system, and that's what he wants. Like, he's out here dancing naked in the house.
I still love the movie, like, amazingly. Like, I love weird shit to a degree, so I'm fine with it. My only thing was, A, the mental health portion, and B, his murders were like so mad simple. Like, he poisons him and then throws a bottle into the lake. Like, the police in the shirt, like,
should have been arrested a long time ago.
Like, and then he drugs the girl and like cuts her up in her own, like, their own house in the bath, like, where her, like, no one is ever, like, the cops aren't investigating properly. Like, that's the only thing. Like, him getting away with these murders was sketch.
So y'all not gonna ask any questions about like how this random person y'all don't know just showed up in your house and suddenly people are dying?
Also, one thing I don't like about this movie is she did try to force a racial element into it that she did not understand with the black cousin. When you're a white person trying to navigate that space, it comes off really, really, really bad. And I'm thinking he was gonna pin the murders on him, but I'm happy he didn't do that because I don't want to see another nigga go to jail. But still,
like, not her trying to do their racial commentary. The more I think about this movie, the more I just hate it. Like, you don't have the world experience or the perspective to tell that story. Some white people can tell stories, other people's stories. They'll never do it completely right. Miss Fennell, like, it's not you. Like, I'm sorry, girl. There's a lot that she was trying to do in this film, and I don't know if she did any of it successfully. Everyone did a good job. Like, again, I'll say the performances were great. Again, like what you said earlier, I'm happy to see Barry in a leading role. I haven't seen him in a leading role since Killing of a Sacred Deer. He was like doing co-lead with Colin Farrell. He's a great actor. Jacob is doing his thing. Everyone was doing a great job. I just think that this story is maybe one of the most frustrating things. And I've seen erotic thrillers before, like Fatal Attraction. I love that movie. Classic, great film. Even something that we watched more recently, like Fair Play. There were some issues with it, but I'm like, okay, there's some good stuff in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not against watching movies like this. I just feel like there were certain scenes that you knew. Like, as I was watching it, I was like, okay, yeah, she definitely did this, so people will talk about it. Like,
I do like these kind of movies, so that's why I still enjoyed it.
Thanks for explaining that, because honestly, after I watched this, I was like, is Dale okay?
Their names. Basically, he viewed them all as puppets. He played them, and that's it. Did you like that clip? Well, you can listen to the entire podcast because the 16mm Film Crew podcast is available on all major podcast platforms.